Good morning, children. How are you, children? I hope all of you are fine. Children, today class for 8th class. Subject is biology. Physical science. So, children, we are discussing about the chapter synthetic fibers and plastics. So, in previous classes, we discussed about the recycling codes, means different codes that are labeled on the different type of plastic items. Today, we are discussing about the one of the activity to know about the different type of plastics. Okay, the aim of the experiment. Okay, the aim of the experiment is nothing but to identify the plastic as thermoplastic or thermosetting plastic by the flame test. Okay, what is the aim of the experiment? To identify the plastic material as thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic by the flame test. Okay, to identify the thermoplastics and thermosetting plastic by flame test. Material required means nothing but one table, one spirit lamp, tongs means nothing but pattukaru, plastic materials such as polythene cover, comb, okay, a piece of plastic mug, piece of plastic bucket. Next, bakelite, electric switch, a piece of computer keyboard, a piece of computer keyboard, and utensil, melamine utensil means nothing but fiber utensils. So these are the some of the samples. Okay, aim to identify thermoplastics and thermosetting plastic by the flame test. Material required one table, spirit lamp, tongs, plastic material such as plastic material, comb, a piece of bucket, plastic bottle. Next, bakelite electric switch, a piece of computer keyboard, and melamine utensil. These are the material. So, first procedure, first place the spirit lamp on the table, hold the plastic sample with the help of tongs. Okay, hold the plastic materials with the help of tongs, and you should always keep away from the fire of the spirit lamp. Okay, so while we are performing the experiment by using fire, always we should keep away from the fire of the spirit lamp. Okay, now heat the plastic material such as that one plastic bottle on the flame of the spirit lamp. Next, heat the plastic cover. Next, heat the plastic comb. Heat the piece of the plastic bucket. Heat the piece of the plastic bucket. Next, heat the bakelite electric switch. Next, heat the piece of the computer keyboard. Next, melamine utensil, and carefully observe the changes of this plastic material, and carefully observe changes in these all plastic materials. Okay. First, take one spirit lamp and place the spirit lamp on the surface of the table. Next, hold the any plastic material with the help of tongs. Always keep away from the fire of the spirit lamp. Always keep away from the fire of the spirit lamp. Next, now introduce the plastic material over the flame of the spirit lamp. First, put the plastic cover, piece of plastic bucket, plastic bottle, comb, then the utensil, bakelite electric switch, the piece of computer keyboard, and carefully observe the changes in these plastic materials. Result: we observe that certain plastic materials are easily absorb the heat and immediately melts. These materials are called as thermoplastics. Example: plastic bottle. Okay, when you heat the plastic bottle, immediately the shape of the plastic bottle is changing, and it starts melting. Karipotundi. Not only that one, when you introduce the plastic cover in the flame, it is also melts. Same process will be observed in the comb in the piece of plastic bucket. But the plastic materials that are unchanged when we supply some heat energy are called as thermosetting plastic. Okay, certain plastic materials are unchanged. Certain plastic materials are unchanged when we heat these plastic materials. This type of plastic materials are called as thermosetting plastic. Example: bakelite electric switch, melamine utensils, the computer keyboard piece. So in this way, we identify the thermoplastics and thermosetting plastics by using the flame test. Thermoplastic means what? The type of plastics that are softened by heat, అంటే వేడి చేస్తే మెత్తగా అవడం, and hardened by the cooling process are called as thermoplastic. Okay, the type of plastics that are softened by the heating process and hardened by the cooling process are called as thermoplastics. Example: plastic cover, plastic comb, plastic bucket, plastic jug, plastic bottle. All these materials are come under the thermoplastics. Thermosetting plastic. The type of plastics that are unchanged by the heating process are called as thermosetting plastics. Okay, the type of plastics that are unchanged by the heating process. The type of plastic that are unchanged by the heating process are called as thermosetting plastics. Example: we observe that one bakelite material, melamine material. Okay, these two words are new for you. 8th class children, you didn't hear these words melamine plastic and bakelite plastic. Melamine plastic means nothing but one type of thermosetting plastic. Mainly, you know that one pressure cooker handles are very hard. That are also made up of with plastic only. But you know that one when normally we cook the food material in the pressure cooker. So when you heat the pressure cooker, at the time the handle also heated, but it is does not melt. Even that is made up of with plastic material only. Yes or not? When you carefully observe the pressure cooker handle, it is also made up of with plastic, but it doesn't melt. Why? Because nothing but it is made up of with one thermosetting plastic called as melamine. Not only that one, the television cabinets or computer cabinets are also made up of with the melamine material only. Okay, the cabinets of television and computer are also made up of with the melamine material. And nowadays we call the fiber plates or fiber glasses. All this means nothing but are made up of with melamine plastic only. Means utensils such as meals plate, bowls, and glasses are made up of with melamine type of plastics. Next, bakelite. Bakelite means nothing but nowadays we use the bakelite type of plastics in the manufacturing of electric switches. Your children have ever seen the olden telephone? So the olden telephone also made up with bakelite only. So these are the example for the melamine type of plastic and bakelite type of plastics. Children, without plastic nowadays we can't imagine our life. We use the plastic for various purpose. Okay, to perform many type of activities we use these plastic materials. Yes or not? So from the morning to night we use different type of plastic articles. Yes or not? When we wake up in the morning, from up to that night sleeping time we are using that one plastic materials only. Toothbrush. So the toothbrush also made up of with plastic only. Yes or not? Coffee mug, that are also made up with plastic only nowadays we are using. And meals plate also plastic. Tiffin box or lunch box, that are also made up of with plastics. And children, comb to set our hair, that are also made up of with plastic. And that one in many article in kitchen are used for storing. Okay, for the storage purpose also we using plastic containers. Means nothing but to store the pulses, అంటే పప్పులను నిల్వ చేయడానికి we use plastic containers. Okay, in kitchen we observe that one our total place is occupied by only plastic only. So that one the egg box, all these materials are made up of with plastic. Even that one the cool drinks also packed in the plastic bottle only. After the usage of this bottle we throw it. And water bottle, okay, the pure drinking water are also packaged in water. Okay, after drinking the water we throw this bottle. And nowadays the syrups and tonics also packed in that one plastic containers only, that are also made up of with the plastics. We use plastic chairs, plastic tables. So every item is made up of with plastics only. Yes or not? Why? Because nothing but they are lighter in weight. To maintain these plastic materials are very easy, and they are accessible to everyone. They are accessible to everyone. But this plastic material cause severe environmental pollution. That's why we have to minimize or reduce the usage of plastic. Reduce the usage of plastic. Why? Because nothing but All these plastic materials are manufactured from the harmful chemicals. So that's why we have to completely stop the usage of plastics, or at least reduce the usage of plastics. You know that when the pollution that is caused in the towns and cities due to the plastics is in cities is very severe. Why? Because nothing but the plastic materials that are thrown in cities and towns is very severe, that clogs the drain, means that means that blocks the drains, అంటే మురికి కాలువలను వాటర్ అనేది పోకుండా అడ్డుకుంటాయి. ఇట్ లీడ్స్ టు ద ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఫ్లడ్స్. So actually the towns and cities are concrete jungle. There is a no space for the percolation of water in the ground, అంటే నీరు ఇంకడానికి స్పేస్ ఉంటుంది. Then when we use the plastic material indiscriminately, so it causes severe problems. Means nothing but it it stops the sinking of water in the ground, అంటే నేలలో నీరు ఇంకకుండా అడ్డుకుంటుంది ప్లాస్టిక్. సో ఇట్ స్టాప్స్ ద గ్రోత్ ఆఫ్ ది ప్లాంట్స్. నాట్ ఓన్లీ దట్ వన్, it creates artificial floods by clogging the drains. It creates unpleasant smell in the urban areas, and it is also responsible for the spreading of communicable diseases in that one cities. So severe pollution also caused by plastic. So that's why we have to stop the usage of plastic. You know that one the plastic also very dangerous to animals. You know that certain cows and buffaloes are roam on the roads of the cities. రోడ్స్ పైన కొన్ని పశువులు తిరుగుతూ ఉంటాయి సిటీస్లో. సో యాక్చువల్లీ the town people and city people packed the rotten food materials in the plastic bags and throw on the vacant plots. In search of food, these cows and buffaloes eats this plastic pouches. They think as their food materials. Day by day, more amount of plastic pouches are enter into the stomachs of the cows. And you know that when plastic is not good for health, so it causes severe diseases in cows, and most of the cows are dies due to this problem. So according to one survey revealed that when post-mortem done on the cows, on each cow's stomach near about 30 kgs to 60 kgs polythene bags are recovered. So we can imagine that one how the people use the plastic items in their life. So as a responsible citizen, we should not throw the plastic bags outside. First of all, we should avoid the usage of plastic. So many alternative things are there for plastic item. We should depend upon them. Second thing, if we use them, immediately after the usage of that one, we send to recycling center. But you should not throw them on the vacant plant. It creates the environmental pollution. So not only that one, so many domestic animals are died due to the plastics. most of the diseases are spread through this plastic pollution. So that's why we have to reduce the usage of plastics. Not only that one, by the river flow means as the water flows by the river into the seas and oceans, so many metric tons of plastic is accumulated in the oceans, and it leads to the death of the marine organisms. So it is not, plastic materials also not good for the aquatic animals. Okay, later we have to discuss about the further effects of the plastics in the next class. Thank you, children.